Hi there everyone, welcome back to My Green Pets. I hope that you've had a great week. We'll start out today outside looking at this beautiful Vanda. Several spikes in bloom now on this guy. If we head over to the shade tent, we can see what else is going on. We've been receiving tons and tons of rain here in the Ohio Valley, and because of that, a lot of the orchids are doing quite well. You may remember a few weeks ago we had a little mascot, a little frog named Lucky. Well, Lucky's been replaced. Lucky moved out and somebody else has moved in. This is a gray tree frog, I do believe. And with all this rain, we have had lots of frogs. And this one I just had to show you guys. Check how teeny tiny it is. I held up a quarter. You can see him kind of flinch. Wait a minute. No. But look how teeny. Isn't that the cutest thing you've ever seen? Let's get back to my other green pets, the orchids. This Cattleya hybrid is pushing up its single growth, and we'll be looking for some flowers on that in October. Last year it had 4 flowers. Next to us, this Catasetum type, this Mormodlia, and it's put out 3 growths this year, and those are starting to show signs of swelling, which means that those bulbs are nearing completion and getting ready to bloom this winter. Next to those, we have some more Cattleya. These are Cattleya seedlings, Cattleya rex seedlings. And these are 2.5 years out of the flask. They're putting on new roots and new leaves. Once they get bigger, they only put out 1 leaf per year. When they first start out, it's interesting. They don't look like Cattleyas at all. The very, very smallest ones almost look like little miniature Phalaenopsis. But then, as they grow older, they start pushing out pseudobulbs, and then, of course, that's how they reach maturity. Stanhopea oculata is a summer bloomer, but right now it's putting out 2 new growths, and I guess we'll be hoping for some blooms on that sometime, but I don't know, maybe not this year. The coconut orchid, getting bushier and bushier. It's putting on lots of new pseudobulbs and leaves. The flowering cycle is mostly done. It's got a few guests though. This little praying mantis is hanging out up there, looking for some insects to eat. Perhaps this hoverfly is a good candidate. These are actually the natural pollinators of slipper orchids in the wild, many of them. The Phalaenopsis, these are just kind of your run-of-the-mill, bargain bin Phalaenopsis you get at the store. They're all putting on lots of new growth, and especially roots, seeing a lot of root action. We got a Siamese root here with 2 tips split off there, and then this one got a triple root coming out. So a lot of rooting going on. Let's take a moment to enjoy this species Phalaenopsis. The leaves, man, they are just stunning. The bulbophyllums, they seem to be doing all right. They love all the rain. They love the high humidity. They love the heat. They're all putting out new growth in various forms. Some of the growths are smaller, just kind of barely poking out. Others a little bit more advanced, nearing completion. And then some are just barely starting, just barely pushing up. Of course, roots are also finding their way out into the world. And the most recently matured growths are starting to show their pseudobulbs are starting to swell, and those will be blooming in the fall, hopefully. Let's go inside for a second and check on Paphiopedilum Annabellchen. This is a slipper orchid hybrid that is on its last leg. The flowers, actually by now, by the time you watch this, are already gone. So say goodbye to Annabellchen because she won't be blooming for a while, but she's had a good run. And she's been really pretty. Okay, and now for the star of today's show. If we go over to the slipper orchid table outside in the shade house, a little bit of background on this plant. This is my first large multifloral slipper orchid, and I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to grow these. I'd heard that some of them are quite difficult. But luckily this one has been an absolute dream. This is Paphiopedilum prime child, and it is just mesmerizing. I love this thing so much. Whenever I see it, I just think, wow, alien transmission. It just looks like it's from a different planet. From the dorsal with those beautiful stripes to the lip with just a pale pink blush to it, to the spots and the hairs and the little twisty petals at the end. This flower has got it all. Even the back of the thing is interesting, and luckily there are 2 more buds on their way, so just imagine what this thing's going to look like with 3 flowers in full bloom. Fingers crossed that some bug doesn't decide to eat a big hole in the pouch and that they all bloom out nicely, but even if they don't, it's okay. I'm enjoying it now. That's all we have time for today. I guess we have more time, but that's all I have to show you today. Thanks for joining me, and we'll see you next time right here on My Green Pets. See you later, guys.